GOP leadership continues to dismiss President Trump's threats of shutting down the government over border wall funding. The former Romney campaign policy director Lanhee, Chen, and USA Today Congressional reporter Eliza Collins on whether the wall will ever be taken up. But Eliza, let me start with you. Yesterday President Trump put out a tweet approximately at this time reiterating the fact that he is not intimidated or afraid of making the shutting down this government before the midterm elections. And this sort of is a rebuff against reports that he had put it on the back burner at the request of Kelly and others. So why the disconnect between what we keep hearing from President Trump and what we keep hearing from GOP leadership?
Well, the president's base is demanding the wall. They're demanding he fight on this issue. Trump is very loyal to his base. He feels like they put him in the White House, and he feels like he owes it to them to fight on this. The problem is it is not helpful for Republicans who are trying to keep their seats, particularly in the House, where there's a real chance Democrats can take control in November. I was one of those people reporting that meeting last week. Trump, McConnell, Ryan sat down. McConnell and Ryan basically laid it all out and was like, we can fight on this wall, but after the midterm elections. They left thinking the president was okay with that. Obviously, he's changed his tune in recent days. It's really Trump is loyal to the base, and the rest of the GOP is trying to thread the needle between the base and then also those sort of more centrist Republicans and independents who might not be as excited about a government funding fight right before the election.
Lanhee, and you can see why folks who voted for President Trump will be skeptical when someone like Mitch McConnell says, hey, let's put it off, we can address it later. Later never seems to come in Washington, D.C.
Well, this is the problem, I think, and particularly with respect to the wall, it seems like it should be something that's a fairly easy get for Republicans. My premonition on this was always that they would do a short-term funding bill and kick this out to the end of the year, and the real fight would be after the midterm elections. I think strategically that probably is a smarter thing to do for Republicans. But to your point, Charles, I think the president's probably losing a little bit of patience, and this is a signature issue for him. If he cannot deliver on this issue, it's going to be a big problem for him and, frankly, for Republicans going forward.
Lanhee, then what do you think the ultimate package would look like? Because many say it ultimately, if you want Dems on board, has to involve DACA. President Trump put out an extraordinarily olive branch, in my opinion, with the DACA solution that was just rejected out of hand by Democratic leadership. So what would an ultimate compromise look like?
I think you're right. I think the president's offer on DACA was generous. I think some kind of exchange, DACA for the wall, straight up, one for one, is the best and cleanest deal that both sides can hope for. And frankly, Charles, I think it takes this issue off the table, benefits both Republicans and Democrats, and people live to fight again. The bigger issues around visa structure, moving away from a system that's diversity-based to one that's more merit-based, these are really tough questions. There are divisions even within the Republican Party. Let's do a clean deal. Let's get DACA and the wall off the table.
Eliza, I'll ask you the same question. What are you hearing or sensing might be the right combination of compromise to get enough Democrats on board along with Republicans?
Well, Lanhee's exactly right. It's that clean wall money for DACA. That could pass, I believe, both the House and the Senate if it was brought up. But the Republicans, the further right Republicans and the president are asking for more than that. And those are no-goes for Democrats right now. So the visa lottery, he's asking for an end on that. They're asking for E-Verify. There's a whole bunch of other immigration reforms that the president would like to see, along with sort of the further right in his party. And those Democrats will not budge on those issues. So the larger the package gets, the more likely you'll lose the Democrats. Or if you move to the left, you're going to lose Republicans.
Certainly a delicate balancing act. Thank you both very much. Really appreciate it.